Okay, so this is different because normally I just set the camera up and start singing it, but today I'm going to talk it. I've decided to have a go at this vlogging thing. Like, I'm not going to take it really seriously or anything and commit to a schedule. If I do one a month, I'll be happy with that. I just wanted to give it a bit of a go. I have quite bad social anxiety, and recently I've been getting a lot better with it. I've been putting myself out there more and doing a lot of things that are really out of my comfort zone. And I put off doing the vlogging thing for ages because talking at a camera, surprisingly, is really out of my comfort zone. But I really wanted to give it a go and maybe build up my confidence some more, and maybe hopefully meet some other people out there on YouTube who are making similar content, you know, other people who do covers, who are interested in music and pop culture and fashion, K-pop, things like this. These are the sorts of things that I'm probably going to talk about a lot in these videos, and it'd be really nice to get to know other people who do the same. So for this first video, I thought I'd start with something nice and simple and easy, and just give you guys a little mini tour of my makeshift studio. Talk about some of the equipment I use and stuff, and maybe if you're looking to do covers in the future, you might pick up a few things from how I do things, might help you, who knows. So a little backstory first about how I got started with covers on YouTube. I started when I was about 16. And I would just set up my camera in my room, get my guitar and start singing. So obviously those videos aren't really great quality. Like, I think the first two I did, I actually used the webcam on my laptop. So they're really bad quality. I should really delete them. But you know, that was what I had at the time, and that was what I knew how to do at the time. So I kept doing that for a few years. And then while I was at uni, I started gigging more. You know, I'd go out to regular open mics and stuff, and I wanted to get my own original songs recorded and put up online so that people who saw me could then go and find my music. But I didn't have money for a recording studio, so I was trying to find cheaper, easier ways to record as many of my songs as possible by myself. And I went up getting an iPad and GarageBand, and I'll talk more in a sec about why I ended up choosing GarageBand as my option. But that's what I did, and because of that I started doing audio-only covers using GarageBand. Anyway, so then I eventually got a better quality camera, and now I have a better space to record in. My sister moved to Japan over the summer, and I basically hijacked her bedroom and turned it into my music studio. So I do all of my recording in here now, and now I'm able to do semi-professional sort of covers that come out every week. Once a week on a Monday is when all my covers come out. And every now and then I release other stuff as well because I have this space to record in now. So that's a little bit of the backstory and how things have changed over the years with my covers. Now on to the equipment I use. So starting with video, I have a DSLR camera. It's a Canon 600D that I got second-hand off a website called Camera Jungle. If you're gonna get a DSLR camera, I highly recommend second-hand for your first one, because they are expensive to buy brand new, and they are a lot cheaper to buy second-hand. I think mine, for both the body and the lens in total, was less than £200, whereas a brand new DSLR camera is usually going to be between £250 and £350, even if you only get like a bog standard model. So also, if you aren't looking to do photography and you don't already own a DSLR, like if you already have a DSLR camera, just use that. If you want to do videos, like if you want to do covers on YouTube as well, that works just fine. But if you don't already have a DSLR and you aren't interested in photography, there's literally no point in getting one. Just get a video camera because they work just as well. They're designed to record video. So if you're only looking to do video, just get a video camera because they are cheaper. Yeah, so that's the video covered. Now on to audio. As I said before, I have an iPad which I have GarageBand on to do all of my audio through. I tried a few other audio packages like that you can download on your laptop for free and stuff. Like I tried Audacity for a bit, and I really couldn't get my head around most of them. I really struggled with it because I've only ever done a Music Tech AS. So that's like 1 year of studying a little bit of music technology where I did a little bit of recording and a little bit of production stuff, but I never really got into any detail about how to use any packages, and the only packages I was ever shown how to use were ones that you have to pay a ridiculous amount, like things like Cubase, that you have to pay a ridiculous amount of money for anyway, and I don't have that kind of money. GarageBand is $14.99, I think it was, off the App Store. So the main cost for me was that I did buy an iPad specifically to get it, but obviously if you already have an Apple device, you're sorted, you can just buy GarageBand. When it came to Android, like I looked at apps that I could just download onto my Android phone. Yeah, I know, I'm mixing the technology, it's awful. And I didn't get on well with any of them either. I found a lot of them were more expensive than GarageBand for the full version, and the demo version like wasn't worth having, even if it was free. You couldn't do anything on it. And while I was practicing on the demo versions to see if I would want to bother buying the full version, I just didn't like any of them. I had the same problem I did with packages that I got on my laptop. I found them really complicated and hard to get my head round as someone who doesn't have a lot of technical or music technical know-how. But I didn't have that problem with GarageBand. My friend at uni had it free on his iPhone. It just came free with his new iPhone, and he'd been recording all of his stuff on his SoundCloud and things like that with GarageBand on his phone, with his phone's microphone and everything. And I was really amazed because the quality of his stuff actually wasn't bad. It was pretty good. It sounded pretty much the same as other people I knew who were recording stuff at home. So I asked him to show me it one day and maybe try and record a couple of tracks. We never got anything recorded, but he did show me like how it worked and how he did his tracks on there. And as I was watching him do it, I remember thinking, I understand this a lot better than I have any of the other packages I've seen before. Like, it made more sense to me. It works the way my brain does. I'll just show you a little bit of what it looks like. But I won't do, like, I'll do a full video at some point in the future, I think, where I play around with GarageBand a bit. So, like, you go in and you start up a new file, and it gives you this option to pick what sort of track you want. So if you pick an audio track, then to set it up, it's got presets and stuff, so if you don't know what all of the dials do, you don't necessarily need to begin with. You can just pick a preset, like, it's got presets designed for guitar, for drums, for vocals. It's got one that's actually called lead vocals, that if you just use that, that is a pretty decent, that was what most people would set the vocals to anyway in terms of reverb and things like that. But once you learn how to use all that stuff yourself, the dials and stuff they're all in places where it's easy to find everything. Every menu makes sense where it is, and if you can't find something, there's a little question mark in the corner of the screen that brings up yellow boxes that tell you what everything does. So it's really easy to get your head around if you're not someone who's very tech savvy or who knows a lot about music technology. So that's how I record all my audio, and eventually I did decide that as good as the mic on my iPad was, it wasn't good enough for what I was doing really, and I should invest in a proper mic. So the one I opted for is this one. This is a Blue Yeti, which cost me £90 off Amazon, and it's usually around that price, between £90 and £110 is what it usually costs. But this was definitely worth the purchase. It came highly recommended off other YouTubers who do covers and stuff like that, which is part of why I chose it. But the other reason I chose it is because on the back it has these two dials. That one just does the gain, and then the bottom one changes the pattern of recording. So each microphone has its own pattern usually of where it records from on. Most of them are cardioids, like they record mostly from the front but in a heart-shaped round, so there's a little bit of peripheral sound. You get omnidirectional ones, you get bidirectional ones, and you've got 4 settings. So you've got cardioid, omnidirectional, either side, and front and back are the options. And that's part of what I love so much about this microphone, because it then means that it's really suitable for all sorts of different types of recording. Like if you just want to record vocals, you just set it on cardioid, or if you just want to record your guitar or something, you just set it on cardioid at whatever gain level you want. But like if you had 2 singers either side of the microphone, you could set it either side. You can set it omnidirectional for if you've got lots of people in the room you're trying to record. So it's really useful for someone like me who's doing lots of different types of recording with it. So that is a USB connectable microphone. If you're doing it all through your laptop and stuff and you don't get an audio interface is the thing that you plug things like instruments and microphones into before you plug them into your laptop and stuff. It basically changes pattern. It does something technical that means that your laptop can cope with the sounds being sent to it. If you don't get an audio interface, then you need USB mics. You need USB everything. And if you're doing it on an iPad like me, then because it's USB, you also need one of these. This is not the official iPhone Apple one, obviously, but this is a USB to Lightning adapter. Mine also does SD to Lightning because I wanted to be able to take the SD card of my camera and plug it into my iPad, so I got one that does both. You plug the microphone in there, you plug that in your iPad and you're sorted. If you have an older iPhone or iPad, you might also need something I have anyway, which is a powered USB hub. I can't show you that because it's plugged in and it's on the floor, but it's basically, it's a USB hub that has a plug that goes into the mains, and that's a powered USB hub, and that's what you need if you have an older one, because the batteries on them can't cope with how much power the mic needs. So that is how I do everything for my covers, and I just want to show you guys two other little things before I finish this video, two little toys that I got for Christmas that I might do like videos where I do a full review of them in the future once I've had time to play with them a little bit more, but I've literally so far just plugged them in and checked they work. So the first one is under the bed. This is a MIDI keyboard, a USB connectable MIDI keyboard. The one I opted for is Sub-Zero Command Key 25. It basically was the cheapest option that got good reviews. I'm perfectly happy with it so far, but I'll like play with it more and tell you guys what I think. And I got this because when I'm adding other instruments to my own recordings, you do it through like MIDI. And the way you do it on GarageBand, if you have a touchpad of any kind, so a tablet or a phone, is you play on a keyboard that appears on the screen. And the downside to that is that touchscreens are unreliable. Sometimes they don't register that they've been touched, or sometimes they register too late that they've been touched, so you get the timing goes all funky, which is fine for things like the drums, because you can set it to put them back in time. But you can't really do that with anything melodic. Like rhythmic things, you can just get it so that the timing, get it so that it shifts it back in time, but with melodic things that doesn't work so well. So if you want to do like me and record stuff on your iPad, a MIDI keyboard might be a good idea, just because the keys are more sensitive. They actually register when they've been touched. The other cool little toy I got to improve my recordings of my own stuff is this. You can't really see what that says, but it says iTrack Pocket. It is a device that allows me to plug my electric guitar directly into my iPad, which is really cool because normally in order to do that you would definitely need an audio interface, and they're expensive. So it's basically like plugging your guitar into an amp, pretty much, is what it's designed for, so you can play your guitar through various programs. The main one I use obviously is GarageBand. It actually has a program that it says to download for it. I can't remember what the program is called, but again, I'll talk about that in the future if I do a video talking about this. And it allows me to be able to play my electric guitar as if I'm playing it through any amp. I just have a really bog standard, not very good quality amp at all because I didn't have the money for anything fancy. But I can play through some of the most expensive amps in the world on GarageBand. Well, not exactly, it doesn't sound exactly the same, but it does have pretty good quality audio to it. So that's everything that I wanted to show you guys and talk to you about. I'll leave links in the description to everything that I've talked about in this video that you might want to go and buy yourself, or at least go find out some more information about. I'll also leave a link to my most recent cover, so if you want to hear what all of this sounds like when it's done, then feel free to go check that out. If you want to check out any of my other covers, not going to discourage you from doing that either. I'll hopefully make another one of these videos at some point in the near future, don't know when exactly, but yeah, that's everything. Bye bye for now, guys.